Look who has finally become a ghost in their machine. Welcome back, you gorgeous abnormality. The silent witness who was never intended to hear anything yet nonetheless captured every phrase, lie and backstabbing chuckle they believed were securely hidden. There you sit, images blazing in your chest and hatred coursing through your veins, completely aware of what they said while they imagined you weren't paying attention. Someone snitched, right? Someone break the so-called holy code of the group chat. The delicate small circle of trust. They conspired behind your back. And now you have receipts, timestamps, and documentation to prove that none of your instincts were paranoid. They represented perception. You were not losing your mind. You read the room better than they gave you credit for. Here is the truth. They relaxed. They became sloppy. They thought their small digital fortress was unbreakable. All of their private talks would be hidden behind alerts and vanishing messages. So they spoke their talk, poisoned your reputation, laughed at your expense, distorted your words, and created fake versions of you in order to destroy them all together. It offered them a feeling of empowerment, something to unite around, and a common goal to feel superior about. You became their amusement, their project, case study, and gradual destruction. The irony is that you sensed it long before you saw the confirmation. The change in energy, the grins that did not reach their eyes, and the internal jokes. When you entered the room, you were immediately excluded from the half-second pauses. They really believed they were clever. They believed their footprints were properly concealed. Their bond is unbreakable. Their treachery is invisible. But falsehoods need upkeep. They ask that everyone tells the same tale with flawless consistency. And someone always slides. Perhaps it was guilt. Perhaps ego. Perhaps the incorrect individual was removed from the circle and chose to take everyone down with them. Whatever the cause, the truth eventually made its way back to you. And now you're sitting with knowledge that will alter everything. Confirmation of instincts, confirmation of suspicions, and power. They are completely unaware of what you are holding. Because you know something that others don't? And this puts you in the most perilous situation conceivable. You aren't responding. You aren't confronting. You're not erupting in wrath or crying. You're doing something far more scary. You are witnessing. You are listening. You're studying. Every action they make is as clear as if they had now seen the whole picture. Every phony grin is recorded quickly. Every falsehood is recorded in your mind. Every presentation of friendship is revealed for what it is. A performance. And they still believe you're blind. They still assume you are naive. They still believe you are the same person who previously trusted them. But that version of yourself perished when you witnessed those letters burn to ash in the fire of betrayal. And what sprang from those ashes is something to be scared of. Because this is something they never understood about someone like you. You don't shout or plead. You do not reveal your wounds for their enjoyment. You get dangerously silent. The type of silence that observes, waits, calculates, and recalls everything. You're discreetly building a case, gathering evidence like a seasoned detective, noting every contradiction, fib, every time they seem to care while the group chat indicates otherwise. They're so arrogant in their deceit, so sure of their own cunning, that they don't detect the change in you. They do not view them in the same way that you do today as examples under glass. They don't notice the difference in your energy because, really, they never paid attention to you in the first place. To them, you were merely a character in their plot, a supporting player. Something to examine when bored. But the script has reversed. You are no longer the focus of their talks. You are the author of what comes next, and they have no clue what you are writing. Should you confront them? Make them aware. Drop each screenshot and watch their reputation plummet? Should you pull away gently and let them panic? What has changed? Perhaps you will pretend you saw nothing and use the truth as artillery when it is most beneficial to you. Every choice is available and the decision is totally up to you. Their trustworthiness, friendships, and carefully cultivated image. Everything lays in your hand like a grenade with the pin already halfway out, which is the funniest part. They're still chatting, meeting in their little digital circles, running their mouths, and believing they're working in complete privacy. They have no notion that the door has been cracked. They've got no idea. The walls listened. They've got no idea. You've already gotten 10 steps ahead of whatever petty maneuver they believe they're making. So, let's speak about what those texts truly said. Let's speak about the things they'd never say in front of you. Perhaps they called you theatrical, too sensitive, too much. Perhaps they were mocking something fragile. You confided in what you shared on the basis of trust. Perhaps they manipulated your remarks into a narrative of events that never occurred in order to promote themselves. Perhaps they made cheap jokes at your expense. Jokes that elicited likes and laughing emojis from individuals you thought appreciated you. Maybe they questioned your objectives, character, and sanity. Perhaps they categorized you as insane for experiencing emotions you had every right to have. Perhaps they gaslight you in tandem, agreeing that you were the issue while portraying themselves as innocent victims of your presence. And what they said isn't the most painful part. They spoke it together. They formed a coalition focused on pulling you down. They bonded over your shame. They established their friendships by undermining you. They created closeness via mutual brutality. This was not a solitary betrayal. It was systemic. A large network of individuals determined you were disposable, that your emotions were meaningless, and that your absence from their talks made you vulnerable to assault. They didn't just speak about you. They created a completely false version of you, a watered-down caricature that was simpler for them to despise. It's easier for them to ridicule. It's easier for them to discard without considering their own concerns or intentions. They then spread that twisted invention among themselves like a shared tale. They repeated it so obsessively that it became the foundation of their group identity, a lie so deeply ingrained in their collective consciousness that they couldn't tell the difference between the two, leaving no room for the real you in their minds and smug confidence in their own cruelty. They overlooked something critical. They forgot that the truth isn't static, that it spills, slides, and moves. They forgot that secrets fade. The longer they were in the dark, the more they forgot that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And that person always speaks out of shame, pride, envy, fear, or sheer ignorance. They forgot that partnerships based on mutual hate are flimsy and fleeting, bound to disintegrate once the convenience of a common adversary is removed. They overlooked that those who are prepared to betray one person would ultimately betray another. But their greatest mistake was thinking you were someone who stayed down. They felt isolating you would make you weaker, that ridiculing you behind your back would quiet you, and that turning others against you would cause you to question your value and swallow their story full. They imagined that the weight of societal rejection would crush you into nothingness, and that you would slip away peacefully, thinking their falsehoods to be reflections of reality rather than indications of insecurity. Instead of breaking, you toughened. Rather than collapse, you explained. Every lie they uttered became armor, and every insult was fire. Every moment they underestimated. You exposed their lack of emotional depth and their unwillingness to address their own inadequacies. They expected you to crack under strain, yet you grew into someone more resilient, observant, and deadly than they ever imagined. And now the balance of power has flipped totally because you have the knowledge to deconstruct everything they've constructed. The screenshots, the discussions, the timestamps, the whole picture of who they are when they believe no one is looking, all with a handful of proof. You may ruin their reputations, tear up their friendships, expose their hypocrisy, and reveal the rot underneath their carefully maintained smiles. You might induce fractures that will never heal. Watch their alliances crumble under paranoia and subject them to the same isolation they so nonchalantly imposed on you. A single choice has the potential to completely change their lives. But the choice isn't just about them. It is about you. So you're forced to face the true question. Do you seek retribution or peace? Do you desire justice or freedom? Revenge is loud, explosive, and intoxicating. It provides you with a vivid sense of fulfillment that seems nearly like winning. However, vengeance connects you to them on a conceptual level, keeping them in your thoughts. The proof that they continue to affect your ideas, time, and energy is different. Quiet, steady, liberating. Peace entails going away with the certainty of knowing who they are, while refusing to allow their ugliness ruin another second of your existence. Peace entails watching people sink under the weight of their own actions without raising a finger. Freedom extends much farther. It is the knowledge that transcendence, rather than retribution or quiet, is the ultimate form of revenge. Being so focused on your development, ambitions, and progress that they fade into insignificance. Freedom is living so effectively that your success exposes the lives of others. But maybe you aren't looking for peace yet. Perhaps you are too aware of the harm they have caused to be dissatisfied with the way they glide around the world without responsibility. I'm weary of individuals like them believing cruelty is little. Perhaps you feel that consequences are required, that those who are so thoughtless should learn that their acts have weight and that their words create wounds. That loyalty is not a play. They can reshape at will. And you are not incorrect. Because if you go quietly, they will learn nothing. They'll alter the tale to portray themselves as victims, downplay their actions, and perpetrate the same brutality on someone who lacks your strength. Silence keeps them safe, exposure corrects them, and distance frees you. And no matter how you choose to face, expose, outgrow, or eliminate them from your story, one thing remains unshakable. They attempted to break you. They failed spectacularly. And now they must deal with the repercussions of underestimating the wrong person for far too long. They'll keep establishing their small echo chambers of bitterness, gathering in digital nooks where insecurity masquerades as confidence and cruelty passes as comedy, erecting their fragile hate groups like toddlers stacking cards and assuming the structure is solid. Tearing others down because it is how they feel. Bonding over collective hatred because true connection involves emotional depth, which they lack. They will continue to feed off one another's hatred, supporting each other's distorted perspectives, telling themselves that their cruelty is justifiable, their gossip is harmless, and their private ridicule is nothing more than harmless entertainment. They will never take the time to understand why they need to attack someone in order to feel important. They'll never admit that their so-called friendships thrive only when they have a shared adversary to analyze. They'll never look in the mirror since they know what they'll see: pettiness, insecurity, envy, and cowardice. And they're not prepared to face the fact. Instead, they will continue to play the victim, producing victims to weaponize empathy when faced while stockpiling malice in the shadows. And maybe, just maybe, you're the one who needs to hold the mirror up to them. Not out of vengeance or a desire to destroy them, but to compel them to face the awful truth of who they have become. Because without someone to push them, they'll keep repeating the same behaviors, leaving a trail of emotionally damaged individuals in their wake, never admitting their own involvement in the harm they create. But, regardless of what you choose, whether you hold the mirror or turn away completely, there is something you must comprehend at your heart. Whatever you decide to do with this knowledge is justified. If you reveal them, you are not petty. You just refuse to conceal the truth. If you confront them, you aren't theatrical. You are courageous enough to demand responsibility. Walking away quietly is not a sign of weakness. You have the emotional intelligence to withdraw yourself from harmful situations. If you choose to utilize this knowledge strategically rather than impulsively, you are not manipulating others. Rather, you are protecting yourself. Foresight and tactical thinking. This is your decision since you are the one who was mistreated. The person who had to process such text. The person who had to watch your name twisted for fun. You were the one who had to understand in real time how little you meant to the individuals you previously admired. You are now bearing the weight of facts you never asked for. So, whatever you pick, stick to it without apology. Don't allow anybody accuse you of responding to the betrayal they created. Don't let them claim your response was worse than their deeds. Don't allow them mislead you into thinking that your limits or discomfort are the issue. Because this is what is occurring on their side right now. Someone in that group chat is already spinning, repeating talks in their heads, wondering whether they were the one who slipped or worse if they were set up. Someone is scared that their name may be revealed as a traitor. Someone else is concerned whether their previous messages are being used against them. Paranoia is creeping through their group like a slow poisonous fog, infiltrating every relationship, allegiance, and private joke that suddenly seems ominous. Trust is disintegrating from inside. They're going through previous communications, reading and rereading their own words, agonizing over any details they could have overlooked. Alliances are fracturing. The same people who laughed at your expense are now side-eyeing each other, wondering who has been talking behind your back, who else has receipts, and who else has betrayed the group. Isn't it poetic? The way treachery feeds on itself, and how those who scheme together finally rip each other apart when the safety net cracks. They're undoubtedly scurrying right now in secret conversations and whispered side discussions, seeking to find the leak. Rehearsing falsehoods, devising defensive plans, and making explanations for each aspect they believe you will confront them with. They're attempting to get their narrative right before you make a move, but they have no clue what your move will be, when it will take place, or even if it will happen at all. The finest part: the fact that you don't have to raise a single finger is what makes them nervous. Your silence is like a sword twisting in their guilt. Your serenity is their pain. Every time they see you, your awareness will unravel them. There's a flash of worry behind their grin because they don't know whether this is the time you confront them. Every casual interaction seems like a trap. Every common area seems energized. Every social engagement becomes a minefield since they have no idea how much you know, how you learned, or what you intend to accomplish. Your quiet is their punishment, and your calmness is their paranoia. Your existence is their result. You haven't even talked yet. They can't relax around you anymore, not even in the simplest, most casual situations. Because seeing you reminds them of a version of themselves. They refuse to admit the version capable of brutality, deception, and manipulation. They can't be honest around you. Not that they ever were, but their veneer has holes that they're frantically attempting to cover up, and every encounter is a show. They have to practice in real time. Their smiles seem prepared, their words sound filtered, their tone sounds empty, and the whole dynamic shifts so dramatically that you can almost see them planning every step while pretending everything is normal. And you get to watch everything develop like a private drama, seeing how their eyes dart, their stance stiffens, and how they suddenly say too much or too little. You can see how hard it is for them to pretend they didn't write or laugh at something they clearly did. And there is a very genuine, unmistakable melancholy faction, and knowing that your very presence is enough to disturb their peace. It's pleasant to know they're looking over their shoulder, waiting for the moment they believe you'll expose them, dissecting your expressions, overthinking your silence, and wondering whether the truth is only seconds away from detonating their whole social system. They unwittingly gave you complete authority, and now they're stuck by the consequences of their own choices, while you sit quietly and calmly determine what happens next. So here's the deal. This predicament always evolves in phases, much like a psychological domino effect, which you can forecast with unsettling precision in certain cases. Usually, those who know they uttered the worst things start distancing themselves right away, claiming to be busy, avoiding conversations, and suddenly becoming inaccessible, believing that if they vanish first, it would seem unconnected to the reality they fear is coming. They believe that withdrawing early helps them seem innocent, but it really reveals their guilt to anybody who pays attention. Meanwhile, some will swing in the other way. They will start to love bomb you, showering you with attention, praises, invites, and forced excitement. They'll behave as if they've always appreciated you and that you're now one of the most important persons in their life, because they assumed that immersing you with compassion would wash away the picture of who they were behind the scenes. Their kindness is a technique, not a metamorphosis. It's dread cloaked in false kindness. Then there are the testers, the astute individuals who seem impartial but insert minor inquiries into conversations, searching for clues, inserting subtle allusions, and attempting to evaluate how much you know without giving yourself away. They will pretend to check in on you. But every question is really about self-preservation. Then come the preemptive attacks. The most harmful of all, those who want to destroy your reputation before you ever speak. They will murmur that you are unstable, theatrical, overreacting, or misinterpreting events. They'll portray themselves as misunderstood saints, and you as the unpredictable danger, trying to change the narrative before you disclose the reality. They are afraid. Fear makes people careless. However, the true genius is in how plainly their acts expose who individuals genuinely are under duress. Those who separate themselves are cowards who are unwilling to face the repercussions of their conduct. Those who suddenly shower you with attention are manipulators who use love as cash. The testers are calculated strategists who think like chess players and prepare 3 moves ahead. Preemptive attackers recognize their guilt and are battling for their social survival. And the ones that stay constant, connecting with you as they always have. Those folks stand out like beacons in the midst of turmoil. They're either truly innocent or such skilled liars that even terror doesn't break their facade. And both categories reveal more than words ever could. What you're seeing right now is human psychology stripped naked, a stark depiction of how individuals act when the masks they wear every day start to unravel. Stress exposes character, pressure reveals purpose, and shame heightens terror, transforming everyone in that circle into a walking confessional. You are seeing them unravel without touching anything. Every action they make, every word they say, and every approach they use is a reflection of who they really are. Some will collapse. Some will deflect. Some will cling. Some people will worry so much that you won't even have to face them. Their body language will reveal the truth before their words. The most rewarding aspect is that you have all the cards. You may choose whether to expose them or let them perish in their own delusions. You chose whether to face them one by one or let their terror to ruin their alliances from inside. You chose whether to burn the soil or just walk away and let the guilt consume you. Over time, you will be the judge who assesses their behavior. The jury analyzes their virtue, and the executioner chooses who should face repercussions. Or you might be the one that quietly exits the courtroom, allowing them to fight their own demons in a conflict. They began themselves. They set the circumstances for their own demise. And now they must live in a universe in which you, not them, choose how the next chapter develops. Now let's speak about the individual who informed you of the leak. The whistleblower. The one who broke the pact of silence and told you the truth, fresh and unedited. This individual is significantly more difficult than they look when you get the screenshots. They are the ones that breached an unsaid barrier, broke the unwritten law of group allegiance, and gave you the sharpest view behind the curtain you've ever seen. But before you make a decision, consider them your new guardian angel. You need to ask yourself the questions that most people ignore because they want to think the message is pure. What motivated them to reveal everything? Was remorse nagging at their conscience, ultimately becoming too big to bear? Did they see you being lied to and feel sickened by their silence? Did they really care about you? In a manner that no one else in that group ever has? Were they attempting to fix an error? Or were they attempting to level the playing field because they had been harmed by the same individuals? Or was this premeditated? Did they act strategically rather than compassionately? Were they driven out of the organization and are now seeking vengeance, using you as the appropriate instrument? Are they attempting to present themselves as the righteous one? The dependable confidant, the wonderful buddy who arrives just in time to reveal the truth? Or are they playing both sides like a double agent, still laughing with the group and partaking in the drama but still providing you information to maintain access to both worlds? Perhaps they like turmoil and are looking for a fresh tale to keep them entertained, and you happen to be the most emotionally impacting. You must explore all options since the individual who provided the truth may not be doing it out of genuine goodwill. People don't casually pass on treachery unless they're carrying their own. They might have an agenda, a hurt, a reason, or a secret conflict you're not aware of. They could be using you as a weapon against someone they secretly dislike. They may be testing you, observing how you respond, and choosing if you are a pawn, an ally, or a shield. They could prefer to watch everything burn from a safe distance, leaving you to deal with the aftermath as they discreetly walk away. Or maybe they really care about you and couldn't take watching you being played. It is possible. Rare but conceivable. The truth is generally a combination of motivations. Nobody moves without a personal motive, even if it is hidden under layers of morality and empathy. However, whether their goal was purely strategic, vindictive, protective, or opportunistic, the fact remains that they provided you access to the truth, which has its own weight. So you owe them something but not complete faith. You owe them acknowledgement and thanks for opening your eyes. Yes, you also owe yourself prudence. Thank them. I appreciate the information. But don't let your guard down simply because they discovered what others concealed. People often tell the truth in order to gain power rather than to seek justice. And you must keep yourself from becoming someone else's chess piece in a game you never agreed to play. Verify everything. Do not accept anything at face value. Examine the screenshots yourself, not the version they described to you. Examine the timestamps, context, tone, and continuity. Consider what occurred both before and after the snapshot was captured. Check that nothing was cropped, manipulated, or purposely cherry-picked to frame someone in a certain way. Because in instances like these, everyone plays a part. Everyone has something to lose, and everyone is attempting to influence how you understand the narrative. This is not the time to blindly trust. This is an opportunity to think more clearly than you ever have. Everyone has a plan now. Not only those that deceived you. You must stay 10 steps ahead of everyone involved, even the individual who professes to be assisting you. Human conduct has become strategic. The moment secrets emerge. Nobody deserves complete trust. Verify everything twice. Move slowly, methodically, and intentionally. Think 3 steps ahead of every discussion, communication, and decision. Pay alert to minor tone changes, inconsistencies, and behavioral improvements that seem too fast or polished. Keep an eye out for deceptive allegiance tactics. And here's what you should understand about this specific period in your life. This is a defining moment, a turning point, a crossroads that will define which version of yourself you will become. You may either let this event rot you from the inside out, leaving you resentful, closed off, and mistrust. Someone who maintains such high boundaries that no one ever comes near again. Alternatively, you allow this to develop you into someone smarter, sharper, emotionally stronger, and able to see patterns early. Someone who responds to impulses that were previously neglected. Someone who guards their energy with precision, rather than paranoia. This moment may either harden or purify you. It may make you cynical or discerning. It may make you frigid or selective. It may transform you into someone who sees the worst in everyone, or someone who just refuses to ignore the truth anymore. What you do with this experience will determine how you go forward in your friendships, relationships, and social interactions. This is not just about them. It is about the changes you go through as a result of them. And you are fully responsible for shaping that progress. This may either harden you or make you stronger. The contrast between the two is huge, truly life-changing. Hardness is a protective mechanism, a brittle shell you construct around yourself because you're afraid of experiencing this kind of suffering again. Hard individuals believe they are defending themselves by being frigid, untouchable, and unreachable. But, in actuality, hardness is only emotional scar tissue. It does not grow. It does not heal. It does not breathe. Hard individuals were stuck behind walls, believing they were armor, but it couldn't bend. Eventually splinters. They become stiff, inflexible, and unable to adjust. And when life exerts pressure, and it always does, those barriers break and the person within shatters alongside them. In contrast, strength is alive. Flexibility is what defines strength. Strength understands that pain is a necessary part of the developing process and that bending does not equate to breaking. Strength helps you to stay human without being consumed by treachery. Strength enables you to keep your heart open without letting somebody trample all over it. And right now, after all you've been through, after being betrayed from numerous sides at once, after discovering that individuals you trusted were creating a secret version of you, they may ridicule and manipulate you. You're at a fork in the road and you may choose which option to go. You've been through something much more difficult than most people would acknowledge. Being deceived by more than one person at the same time is a particularly terrible kind of hurt because it leads you to question not just them but also yourself. Your judgment, intuition, and capacity to identify danger. But out of that wound, something will sprout. The concern is, will bitterness take root and extend into every future relationship you try, making you wary of every smile and skeptical of every good intention? Will paranoia distort your perspective such that you believe every whisper, pause, and imprecise tone is an attack? Will hate persist and eat away at your ability to experience pleasure, trust, or closeness? Or will wisdom develop profound, consistent insight that teaches you what you missed? Improves your perception of people's genuine personalities and allows you to spot minor adjustments that you previously overlooked? Will your judgment improve such that you can distinguish between someone who makes errors and someone who manipulates? Will limits expand such that your future is safeguarded in a manner that your past was not? I'm advocating for development, not the bitter type that hardens your heart, but the strong sort that transforms your intellect into a weapon and your soul into something impenetrable. Because the aim has never been to be like them. The idea is not to mimic their poison by creating your own small circle of gossip and abuse, breaking people apart in the same manner they tore you down. That is not power. That is pettiness. Matching their energy merely lowers you to their level, transforming you into the precise thing you've been injured by. You don't have to show that you're just as vicious, petty, or calculated. Anyone can stoop. Not everyone can ascend. The true objective, the ultimate goal, is to rise so far beyond this that they are rendered obsolete. Shadows in the rearview mirror. The idea is to develop a character that is so steadfast, so firmly anchored in truth and honesty, that falsehoods slip right off you. Rumors dissipate in the air, and treachery no longer has the ability to shatter you. The objective is to become someone who doesn't need to talk behind others' backs. Because you either handle the situation straight with bravery or withdraw yourself completely with grace. Someone whose very existence demonstrates that you do not reside in the same emotional cellar as these others. Someone who becomes so inwardly powerful that even when others gossip about you, misunderstand you, despise you, or try to trash your reputation, you stay untouchable because your actions, essence, and energy contradict every lie they tell. Here's where things get crazy. You are already on that route. The fact that you haven't responded rashly, erupted, or retaliated with the same harshness they used on you. That explains all I need to know. Most individuals would behave out of grief, lash out, reveal everything right away, or break emotionally. But you didn't. You paused. You observed. You analyzed. You waited till the immediate sting had subsided before making a decision. You did not allow your emotions take over your intellect. That alone demonstrates that you think at a higher level than they ever did. That alone shows that you're more strategic, self-aware, and grounded. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the deepening of my faith. Help me believe you even when actual proof was lacking. Let me believe in your eternal presence, knowing that you will never hurt me. I realize that your intentions for me are ones of success rather than harm, in order to provide me with a bright future. Thank you, kind and everlasting Father, for always hearing my voice. I give this prayer to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provisions. I am thankful for your presence in my life and the richness you provide. If this video spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with others who need to hear this message.